Hey, Mike Healy here, and thank you very much for opting in to watch this video. Now, you may not have a clue about what I'm about to show you, but I promise you that by the time I'm done with this video, you are going to probably recognize that this is the easiest, fastest way to make a large residual income that you've probably ever seen, and you probably didn't even know it existed, okay? Now, I'm coming from a lot of experience in this, and I understand maybe what your problem could be. I've been there myself where, you have not enough money at the end of the month in most cases. More than likely, if you're looking to make a residual, you either don't have one currently, or you've heard about it, or you've tried some other things. And I'm going to give you some experience from my background of how I've done other things to make residual income, but I'm going to show you what I believe is the most lucrative thing that I've found, and I've applied it over the last 23 years. Especially over the last, I think 10 years, I've really maximized what I'm about to show you, okay? Now, the other thing is this is very simple. We're talking fill in the blanks, simple. I can show you how that literally in less than 4 hours a week with no out-of-pocket costs of any kind, you can actually do this business, this model that I'm about to show you, and produce very good results, okay? So I really wanted to get that out so that you'll hopefully pay full attention to what I'm about to show you. If this is not a good time for you to watch this, just push pause and wait till I have your undivided attention, because I won't waste your time, I promise. I can't. I've done thousands of presentations over the last 23 years, and I know what it's like to be bored out of my mind watching some of these. I get right to the point when I go through this, and I really believe that after I'm done, you're going to go, wow, like this is going to be an aha moment for you, okay? Now, first off, this is not for you if you're looking for some get-rich-quick scheme. This is not a network marketing program. This is not an online marketing program. This is not trying to teach you how to be a life coach or anything like that, okay? This is, and there's nothing wrong with those, and I'll show you here in a little bit. I've done them all, okay, and I've made money in all of them. But I'm going to show you what I believe is the most stable, safe, lucrative, and biggest bang for your buck business that's out there that, again, most people don't know, that it even exists, okay? So the other thing is, I got my computer here for a reason, is I'm going to reference it. I'm going to probably pull up some images to kind of keep this flowing, to kind of keep my mind on track, and to make sure that I give you what you came here for, which is how to figure out how to make a real residual income. And again, like I said, you're going to see that it's very simple. And I've got friends that make tremendous amounts of money doing this. Obviously myself, but I'm going to show you what I have shown to other people, and what you're about to see is kind of a, I wouldn't call it a secret, but it's fairly unknown, and most people don't know how to tap into it. So I'm going to get right into this. Okay, so first off, let me just give you a little bit kind of why you should listen to me. What am I, who or actually, let me not go there yet. Let me show you what residual income means. Now, I want to show you this image real quick. This is actually my family. I am now officially the shortest guy in my house, but that's my daughter, my two sons, and my wife next to me. And they were not always this big. My wife is that tall always, but my kids were always pretty small. And like most people out there, I was looking like you're probably looking, or maybe you do or don't have a family, but ways to support my family, that I could have a life. Now, here's a saying, and if you get nothing else out of this video, write this down and never forget it. There is a significant difference between making a living and having a life. There's a significant difference between making a living and having a life, and I never forgot that, okay? Now, what is it like to have a residual income? Let's talk a little bit about that. I actually Googled this just so I had a good reference, and how to earn a residual income, and it said, there was a bunch of things that came up, and it said how to earn a residual income. It says, what is a residual check? Typical use is in the payment of residuals for television reruns. Okay, a lot of us aren't going to be on TV shows or put albums together or anything like that, but it refers to, the word is often used in plural form, residual checks for payments when you do something once but continue to draw income from it. Now that's the key here, is you do something once but continue to draw income from it, okay? Now, my life changed when I was 27 years old when I met this gentleman right here. This was actually a gentleman, and this is a guy that was in a direct selling / network marketing company that I'd met that at the time was making over $500,000 a month in residual income. Now, I had no idea what residual income meant at 27 years old, coming out of the bar business, which is what I used to do. I used to be a bouncer and bartender. And I thought that it was called residential income. And I told my dad I was going to make this thing called residential income. And he started laughing, and he finally explained to me what residual was, okay? But I have also studied some of the top guys out there and what they've recommended and suggested, you know, like the Robert Kiyosaki's, Michael Gerber's. I've read hundreds of business books and so on, but I know that I've dialed this in, okay? Now, residual income, let's kind of give you some lifestyle stuff, because you're not going to really grasp the magnitude and understand how powerful residual income is until I think you see some of this from my own experience. The reason I can show you me on the beach, this is kind of a joke here, obviously my wife feeding me grapes on Maui, this is a beach in Maui, and being able to take my kids to Disney World multiple times, where was I going? I was getting ready to go on a catamaran ride with my wife in Aruba. Here I am on the left, my wife and we got to go into a volcano up in, I forget what state it's in, or what, I know it's in Hawaii, but I forget what island it was. On the right, I've had the ability and the opportunity to ride elephants in the jungles of Thailand, and it rained while it was happening, and it was incredible. Been to Cabo San Lucas, Cabo something, you know, other places. Been able to go to Rome. Residual income, I'm telling you, you got to get some. Flown helicopters this was, I believe, in Kauai. We got to go see where they filmed Jurassic Park, which is cool. Taking my mom and my family. We took the Oasis of the Sea, at the time was the largest cruise liner. Here we are in another area. We were in, I think this might be St. Kitts or St. Thomas or something like that. And here we are, because of residual income, we're at the Ritz-Carlton. This was actually in Aruba as well. And you know, that's what's pretty powerful. Now, I pulled this photo up because it's pretty cool, because a lot of people, you know, maybe you're not a big trip person or anything like that, and you like more like the classic styles. What's funny is the images on the left was when I was really still young. I think I was under 30 years old, and I went to the Mercedes dealership, and I stood next to this. Stacy and I stood next to one, and I was dreaming of what we could do to make some money, and someday the thing. And then actually a few years later, I ended up buying the exact model and didn't realize it until I accidentally came across those photos, which kind of blew me away. So that's pretty powerful. I've had the ability to buy Hummers, Lexus, you know, and so on. So that's kind of just a little bit about the benefits of residual income. Obviously, you can do what you want, when you want, with whom you want. Again, difference between making a living and having a life. Now, I'm 50 years old, believe it or not. I know I look really good for 50, but you know, I'm now thinking, I think a lot different than I used to think. But you might be in my age group, and the fact that you're looking more for a retirement income or something to supplement, or maybe you want to set your wife up or your spouse, or maybe even have something for your kids that you didn't know was available. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about why I can present what I'm about to show you and give you some real world examples. I've been featured on television shows along with my wife Stacy. I have literally spoken to thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people worldwide in different meetings and different presentations, you know, on everything from business to marketing, you know, what I do, sales, that kind of thing. And, you know, so it's been a privilege to do that. You can, if you want to know even more detail about some of the stuff I'm going to talk about here, you're welcome to go to my YouTube channel. I got over 9,000 subscribers and 1.4 million views on my channel of my videos, okay? So the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is, and I'm getting to my point now, because I have to kind of get you thinking, I got to get your attention here before we get into it, is the ways that I've earned residual income were multiple ways, okay? First, one of the ways was online marketing, where I've created programs, funnels, things like that. I know how to do Facebook ads, Google ads, AdWords, all that stuff, you know, Pixel People, blah, 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 all the nerdy things. I know how to do that. and I've created, some money from that, okay? I've had rental properties, okay? In fact, I'm in the middle of selling my last rental property right now, because if you try to get into that market, the headache with there. Maybe you've tried to build an income in, real estate or something like that. And it's there, it makes money, and there's people that can do it. But again, I've seen people that are into real estate that if they, as soon as they sell a house, they're unemployed till they sell the next one, basically. Okay, so it's not really residual income. But the rental property I had was kind of there. But every time you had to fix something or whatever, it was an issue. I've also was very, very big into multi-level marketing. Again, like I said, this is not about multi-level marketing, but I really cut my teeth in business and learned a tremendous amount about dealing with people and systems and stuff like that. And with multi-level marketing, I actually made, over the period that I was in it, for over about a 15-year period, I made about $5.2 million in network marketing. So I did it. I am actually one of those very high-level professionals in network marketing. I have built teams in the tens of thousands. I have recruited personally over 1,000 some people, but that's not what this is about, okay? But it does lead me into the niche that I identified as the deal to be in, the most powerful thing that I've been involved in, and it has to do with commercial energy. Now, hold on for a second, because I don't want you to turn your brain off, or maybe it got your attention, maybe you're going, oh geez, or whatever. This has nothing to do with the way you might think about it, because you don't have to know anything about energy. You don't have to live in a state that's deregulated. I just want you to just listen to me for a second on this, okay? Because if you can get this, it's going to rock your world. I mean, you literally will be up. You'll have a tough time sleeping tonight after watching this, because your brain's going to start to turn once I go through the power of this, okay? So here's the deal: is years ago, when I first actually 20 some years ago, when I first got introduced to direct selling networking, it had to do with the telecom deregulation. Telecommunications, long distance was deregulated. And the pitch for us was, how'd you like to make money every time somebody pushed one on a telephone? That's when everybody had home phones, and most people don't right nowadays, right? Everybody has a cell phone. And I then, years later, I saw something come around where the deregulation of the energy market became very, very open, like it is now. It's just kind of started right now. And what was cool about that was I was able to tap into the residential market and understood that people, with the power of what we had with the residuals in the energy space, compared to like other things like selling supplements and so on, was that people will turn off everything. If times get tough financially, they'll quit paying their car payment, they'll quit paying their mortgage, they'll quit paying their bills, they'll quit paying everything. They might not quit their cell phone bill, that's one that they won't give up. But more than likely, the last thing to go is they will not sit in the dark and take cold showers. And I understood that. And if you understand that, that's what's so powerful about a real residual income, okay? Now, commercial energy. So open the door here a couple years later, and commercial energy starts to come around, to where I found ways to tap into commercial energy bills, which are business size accounts. And again, I don't know anything about energy, and you don't have to know anything about energy. What it really comes down to is I found a way, okay, we actually helped develop a way that the average common person, just like you and me, could actually get their foot in the door with a business owner and help them save money on their utility bills. And the company that we're dealt with, the suppliers, pay us finder fees in the form of residuals on the usage of these businesses. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. Okay, as an example, let's say we have a house, or I'm sorry, a hospital. This is a true story. Got a buddy, went to a hospital, had a friend that he knew that ran this hospital. Asked them a question if they could get their bills and have them analyzed for free, which is what I'm going to show you. And once they did that, the hospital ended up signing up with the new supplier to save money, saved over $80,000 a year. It didn't cost them anything, but they didn't know that it existed, because that's what most businesses don't. And what happened is, because of signing that deal with them, once they signed that deal, this gentleman now makes a residual income of over $60,000 a year on one referral. Okay, now understand that when I was in like the networking deals, the multi-level deals, I would have to build teams and organizations into the tens of thousands that sold millions of dollars worth of product. Hopefully they would use them every month. And it was very, very hard. It was, this guy asked a simple question, got a little bit of data from the hospital that was very simple to do, and boom, snagged a deal, makes a residual income from it, okay? So that's pretty incredible. Now what I want to do is, if I have your attention, okay, and I want you to think about this, if you drive down the street and you think about what kind of check, what kind of income could you make if when you drove down the street, you were getting paid on the usage of all the energy usage, gas, natural gas, electricity, off of the businesses you pass. It's more money than you can spend. You can't count that kind of money. You actually have to weigh it. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over. If I still have your attention, I'm going to give you I'm going to go in now. I'm going to give you the presentation from my company. Okay, this is a company. Now here's the thing: is I did this successfully, and I've helped thousands and thousands of people earn residual income checks in the energy space, both residentially and commercial. Okay, because of all of that, couple years ago, knowing all these things, I helped develop a company with some very, very sharp individuals that now we're just looking for handfuls of individuals. The cool part is I don't need a ton of them. That we literally give very, very simple third grader training. I mean, it's really as simple as asking somebody an 8-second question and then collecting some information, and you fill in the blanks on a piece of paper, basically, and then we do the work for you. We basically set you up and get these accounts closed for you on your behalf, but most importantly, pay you month after month, year after year after year. And think about this, okay? I have I got boys now that are they're in sports, and I don't miss any. I don't miss any games. I don't miss practices. Half the time in the middle of the afternoon, if I want to take a bike ride on a Tuesday, in July, to go down and watch football practice, I do. I'll go down there for a couple hours, sit in the stands, watch the boys play football. Then I come back and do whatever. You know why? Because there's a residual income attached to my life. And I went out and worked my butt off for it. But I'm telling you that if you have a realistic, as I'm going to show you, realistic expectation of what this kind of residual income can be for you, and this model, it's absolutely life-changing. It's going to rock your world, okay? So let me give you, I'm going to jump into this. I'm going to show you what I got here, okay? Now, the name of my company is called BidPoint. It's kind of a play on words. We basically bid out these energy deals through multiple suppliers. And what happens is we just come back with, we have the suppliers bid against each other and come back with the lowest one and show the business owner that there's savings there, that they're getting overcharged in most cases. And it's a no-brainer, okay? As an example, if you knew that you could keep your exact same phone number, exact same service, except instead of paying $100 a month, you could pay $75, would you do it? Yes or no? Of course you would say yes. You wouldn't just burn the cash, okay? So let me go through, and I'm going to do this quick because this isn't hard to figure out, because it's just a matter of, does this make sense to you? It's really all it is. Oh, and by the way, there's no cost to be an advisor. We call them business advisors with our company. Okay, there's no cost to be a business advisor. We set you up with the training and so on. There may be down the road where we've got some new kits and marketing materials that we're coming out with, but right now it's actually, I would recommend that you jump on board while there's free enrollment here, because we're building this thing very, very quickly nationwide, and your market's probably wide open. Okay, and again, and I didn't mention this in any of the videos. Not only does my company do natural gas and electricity, but we do credit card processing, waste services, a couple other things. Okay, so there's some other models, other things that you can make a residual income off of. Businesses are using them over and over. Okay, let me jump into it. So here we go. A couple simple questions. Who do you know that own businesses? Everybody, and they use that. And how would you like to make money every time somebody used any of those services? Okay, how I go through this presentation is very simple. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my company, a little bit about our industries, a little bit about the product, obviously, and the opportunity. Let's talk about our company. We were founded in 2006, 100% debt-free. More importantly, we're rapidly expanding, and there's only a few hundred of our advisors nationwide. Okay, collectively, the gentlemen, Rick, myself, Joe, Jim, Hutch, and Monty, have hundreds of years collectively in these spaces in both marketing, direct selling, commercial and residential energy sales. Okay, so you can be assured that these guys, we know what we're doing here to help set you up. Our industry, how big is the market? It's massive. Like I mentioned earlier, telecom deregulation was actually a $70 billion industry. Energy is a $750 billion industry. So if you can tap into a pie that big, you don't really need a slice of it, you just need an aroma off of that. And commercial makes up over 70% of the entire energy market. So that's really, really cool. So there's big deals out there that you can make a lot of money on. What are the experts saying? Obviously, you know who Warren Buffett is. He said he thinks that it's going to be one of the largest transfers of wealth in our lifetime. And you can look up these comments on YouTube on different interviews. And Bill Gates talked, he said it's the next major market to be in. The wave is definitely coming. There are current markets out there. Understand, though, that even if you're not in a deregulated state, we have other services that are all 50 state available. But more importantly, understand that we can do industrial size stuff. Our company will do industrial, like the big off the grid kind of stuff in states that aren't deregulated in some cases, okay? So real important. How's our product work? Like I said, we do all these different things: natural gas, electricity, waste, and credit card processing. Our opportunity: what if you could earn a real residual income just for your referrals? Here's the key point here, is it's all just about your referrals. It's not about you being an energy expert. It's not about you knowing anything about energy. It's about you sharing our ability to make sure your friend or your business owner or your acquaintance is not being overcharged. And more importantly, we can show them best pricing and, more importantly, savings in most cases, okay? So if you think about it, we can do businesses any size. We can do large commercial as well as, you know, the small mom and pops, okay? So if you could get paid a huge residual income of asking a simple question followed by an 8-second statement, would that make a lot of sense to you? Like I said earlier, all you have to do is literally ask a very simple question. Ask, you know, if you did this a couple times a week, just to a couple acquaintances or business friends, you know, you can literally build up a really big book of business, okay? So if you ask them this, you know, let's say you're at a pizza parlor, your friend owns it, and you say, hey, you like saving money, don't you? Of course he's going to say yes. Here's the statement that has worked, and this is the one that I've taught to thousands of people, and they've successfully used it to earn residual income or create that. I don't know if I could help you or not, but if you'll give me a copy of your gas electric bills, I know a company that will analyze them for free to see if you're being overcharged. If you can just memorize that and use that on a regular basis with people you come in contact with, business owners, you can make a lot of residual income with our company. It's that simple, okay? Now our system is simple. So if let's say you asked if they wanted to save money, you made that statement and they said yes. Let me show you exactly how simple this process is, okay? You're obviously familiar with McDonald's, and that's why I always reference the system. Systems the leverage by which you turn ordinary people into extraordinary performers. Again, I don't want you to know anything about energy. Okay, I don't know that much about energy, and that's the best part. But I know how to I know how to show people how to make money on energy, and I know how those people, and I know how to ask that question to business owners with success, and they give us the bill. Okay, so you ask that question. You like saving money? 8-second statement, because that's step one. Step two, we literally, all you do is you gather a handful of their last month's billing statements, which they got in the envelope. They paid it. They normally do. They keep them on file for tax purposes. You say, hey, give me a couple of those. You fill out a couple simple forms: name, address, contact of the business, you know, what they monthly use, and you put your name on there, your advisor ID, and then we do the work for you. All you do is you fill out one last form. It says request for pricing. You send it to us, and here's where the magic happens. We then take it and we do a patent pending. We have a patent pending on our process. It's a digital portal that takes, and we have over 70 plus suppliers, all of the big ones in the United States that do energy. And it takes a lot to get those suppliers on board with us. What we then do is we take and have those businesses that are in those markets that your friend might be in, your business owner might be in, and we say, hey, this one's up for bidding. And they bid against each other to drive down the cost, to find the best rate. And all you do then is we give you the sheet, the data sheet that literally gives all the names of the companies that bid on this bill, and you hand it to your business owner and say, hey, you are paying this, would you like to pay this? Well, what are they going to say? They're not goofballs. They're going to say, yeah, how do I do that? Okay. So that's the cool part about this is we have a very simple process. You get that taken care of. How do we get the best pricing? Like I mentioned, we have access to over 70 plus suppliers nationwide, and we continue to add those as they come on board. And again, it's not a simple process. Nobody else has this many suppliers to choose from. The good news is, for your business friend, your friend that maybe you're thinking of people that you know that own businesses that would love to save money and use that money somewhere else, we give an unbiased quote to them due to the fact that we don't work for a single company or a supplier. Our company's the broker side of it that takes it and basically bids it out for you on their behalf. Okay, that's what's cool about it. Okay, so it's really, really nice. So we shop for the lowest rate from all the reputable firms, and then we get them to compete against each other. Okay, so if I was to talk about the residual income, how it's basically earned is we pay based on usage, not on cost and not on what they spend. Real important. So we want the lowest price for them so they don't go anywhere. That's why we have over 92%, 93% retention on our customers year after year after year after year. And most of these businesses sign multi-year accounts. Talk about residual income. When you got businesses that are signing big contracts that go for years and years and years, that's a residual income that you can count on month after month after month. But as an example, we pay, you would basically earn for every million kilowatts. As just an example of electricity, you would earn, and I can give you examples of some training, and I'll show you. And if you get enrolled with us, as soon as you enroll, I send you a 5 videos that are real short, that are training videos. One is a detailed compensation video, and so on. But basically, as an average, if a business used 1 million kilowatts a year, and again, you don't even have to know what kilowatts really are, it's just how they measure the usage, you would make approximately $1,200 to $1,400 on that usage of that 1 million kilowatts. So as an example, let's say you had a person that was a business owner that was a McDonald's franchise. One McDonald's franchise might use 1 to 3 million kilowatts a year. Well, if they use 3 million kilowatts a year, so you'd multiply 3 times $1,400, okay? And boom, you did nothing but save them money, and they switched over. I got another guy example, a perfect example. I got a guy that I talked to about this that just got enrolled. His buddy ran a glass manufacturing company, or he was in charge of the facility and looking for all these things, and he brought him made him the pitch. The guy gave him the information. We went back, found him a huge amount of savings that they were being overcharged, and they contracted over with us. And this guy's residual checks almost $1,000 a month, and they signed a 3-year contract. Okay, think about that. Okay, so he's going to make over $30,000 for one buddy of his that he went to high school with, that gave him that bill. Okay, so as an example, all it comes down to is build a book of business and residuals come in. Okay, and I've got other presentations out there you can go through slower, but basically, if there was a 12 million kilowatt thing and I multiplied it by just 1,000, so you can do easy math, that'd be $12,000 a year in residual income, more along the lines of 15, but you get the point. Like I mentioned, there was a hospital that did over 60 million kilowatts a year, and that would have been $5,000 a month that I watched somebody do. I've got friends that I've talked to that I've been in business with that we've done this together that make 6 figures a year in residual income off of commercial energy accounts, okay? And the other thing too is we do offer, in our company, we do offer a referral. If you find anybody else that might be interested in becoming a business advisor with us, we wouldn't have them if it wasn't for you. We give you a 10% override on whatever their residual checks are. Okay, so again, if you had somebody making $10,000 a year and you made 10% of that, you'd make a grand on that. Okay, you can do the math on that. I'm just going to whip through these because this was actually a longer presentation than I've done before. But anyhow, I'm going to kind of wind this down because I think hopefully if you've followed me to this point, you want to know what to do next. Okay, here's what I would tell you. There's going to be a button around here somewhere, probably to the left, right side, upside down, or below me, that will take you to where you can go and become an advisor with us. And it's like I said, there's no cost to be an advisor with us. You can get set up in as little as 5 minutes, and basically it's just some name information and so on, so we can set up your account. Then you're going to enroll. Right after that, it'll take you to where you sign up for our email list that puts you in that training sequence where you're going to get just a sequence so you can watch these videos, and you'll literally see how third grader easy this is. Okay, again, it comes down to building a residual income. Okay, residual meaning you do something today, but you continue to get paid again and again and again on that year after year after year. Okay, and like I said, no cost for enrollment. There's specialized training. I mean, we've got websites set up for you. We've got promotional videos for you. We've got blog page set up for you. We do live Facebook trainings and so on, and plenty of company support. And I'd kind of close with this saying by Ray Kroc. He said that there's 2 keys to success. One is the ability to recognize an opportunity when you see one. And number 2, which is probably the most important, is the ability to act on that opportunity. Okay. Feel free to, if you have questions, feel free to hit me up. I try to talk as fast as I can, but I'm running out of juice here. But hit me up with a question. You can email me. It's mike@bidpoint.co, mike@bidpoint.co, or and so on. If you got questions, if you're kind of concerned, you can look us up, bidpoint.co, bidpoint.co. Look us up on the blog page. You see a lot of information right there. But again, if you followed me this far, I do sincerely thank you. And I'm telling you that residual income is where it's at. And getting paid on energy accounts is about as stable and lucrative as you can find, because not only are we doing a benefit to the business owners, it doesn't cost anything to the business owners, but more importantly, it's a service that businesses will not go without. They will not sit in the dark and not use gas or electric and that kind of thing, because that's what runs their whole company. Okay, and that's why it's so powerful. So thanks again for taking time to watch this. Hopefully I'll see you on some of the other videos. If you found this entertaining or at least interesting enough that you want to be involved with this, you're going to see that it's a very simple process. So my name is Mike. Thanks again for being on here, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks.